Today, our topic is the Stoics' Guide to Making Tough Decisions. Life is full of choices, and sometimes these choices are not easy. We face situations where we must decide between two or more options, and each option has its own challenges. In such moments it can feel overwhelming, but Stoicism, an ancient philosophy, offers us tools to navigate these tough decisions with clarity and calmness. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control and let go of what we cannot. This way of thinking can help us make better decisions and live a more peaceful life. First, let us understand what Stoicism is. Stoicism is a philosophy that started in ancient Greece and was later practiced in Rome. It was created by thinkers like Zeno, Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius. The main idea of Stoicism is to live a life of virtue, which means being wise, courageous, just, and disciplined. Stoics believe that the key to happiness is not in external things like money, fame, or power, but in how we think and act. They teach us to accept the things we cannot change, and to focus on improving ourselves. This mindset is especially useful when we face tough decisions. When we have to make a tough decision, the first step is to understand what is within our control and what is not. This is one of the most important teachings of Stoicism. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, said, "Some things are in our control, and some things are not. Our thoughts, actions, and reactions are within our control. However, things like other people's opinions, the weather, or the past are not. When we focus on what we can control, we reduce our stress and make better decisions. For example, if you are deciding whether to take a new job, you cannot control how your boss or coworkers will treat you, but you can control how you prepare for the interview and how you perform in the role. By focusing on your actions, you can make a decision based on your efforts, not on things outside your control." Another important Stoic principle is to separate emotions from decision-making. Emotions like fear, anger, or anxiety can cloud our judgment and lead us to make poor choices. Stoics do not ignore emotions, but they do not let emotions control them. Instead, they use reason and logic to guide their decisions. For example, if you are afraid of making a mistake, you might avoid taking any risks. But Stoicism teaches us to face our fears and make decisions based on what is right, not on what feels comfortable. This does not mean you should ignore your feelings, but you should not let them dictate your actions. By staying calm and rational, you can make decisions that align with your values and goals. Stoicism also teaches us to consider the bigger picture. When we face a tough decision, it is easy to get caught up in the immediate consequences. However, Stoics remind us to think about the long-term impact of our choices. Ask yourself, how will this decision affect me in a year, 5 years, or even 10 years? This helps you see beyond the present moment and make decisions that are beneficial in the long run. For example, if you are deciding whether to spend money on something you want now or save it for the future, thinking about the long-term benefits of saving can help you make a wiser choice. Another useful Stoic tool is the practice of negative visualization. This means imagining the worst-case scenario and preparing for it. While this might sound pessimistic, it is actually a way to build resilience and reduce fear. By imagining what could go wrong, you can plan how to handle it if it happens. This makes you feel more prepared and confident in your decision. For example, if you are deciding whether to start your own business, imagine the challenges you might face, such as losing money or failing. Then, think about how you would overcome these challenges. This exercise helps you face your fears and make a decision with a clear mind. Stoicism also emphasizes the importance of virtue in decision-making. Virtue in Stoic philosophy means living with wisdom, courage, justice, and self-discipline. When you make a decision, ask yourself if it aligns with these values. For example, if you are deciding whether to cheat on a test, Consider whether this action is wise, courageous, just, or disciplined. Most likely, it is not. By focusing on virtue, you can make decisions that are morally right and that you can be proud of. This approach helps you stay true to yourself and live a life of integrity. Another key Stoic principle is to accept the outcome of your decisions, whatever it may be. Once you have made a decision, do not waste time regretting or second-guessing it. Instead, accept the outcome and learn from it. Stoics believe that everything happens for a reason, and even failures can teach us valuable lessons. For example, if you decide to invest in a business that fails, instead of feeling regret, focus on what you can learn from the experience. This mindset helps you grow and become stronger no matter what happens. Stoicism also teaches us to be mindful of our desires and attachments. Often we struggle with tough decisions because we are attached to certain outcomes. For example, we might want a promotion at work, and if we do not get it, we feel disappointed. Stoics advise us to detach from these desires and focus on doing our best. This does not mean you should not have goals, but you should not let your happiness depend on them. By letting go of attachments, you can make decisions with a clear mind and a peaceful heart. Finally, Stoicism reminds us to live in the present moment. When we face tough decisions, we often worry about the future or dwell on the past. However, the only moment we truly have is the present. By focusing on the here and now, we can make decisions with clarity and confidence. For example, if you are deciding whether to apologize to someone, focus on what you can do right now to make things right. Do not worry about how they will react or what happened in the past. By living in the present, you can take action and move forward. In conclusion, making tough decisions is never easy, but Stoicism offers us a guide to navigate these challenges with wisdom and calmness. By focusing on what we can control, separating emotions from decision-making, considering the long-term impact, practicing negative visualization, living with virtue, accepting outcomes, letting go of attachments, and living in the present moment, we can make decisions that align with our values and lead to a more fulfilling life. Remember, the goal is not to avoid challenges, but to face them with courage and clarity. As the Stoic philosopher Seneca said, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that they are difficult." So, dare to make tough decisions and trust in your ability to handle whatever comes your way. This is the Stoic path to a life of peace, purpose, and resilience.